Greetings, I'm John Montgomery and this is Good Speeches Gone Bad. We'll be looking at some public speeches that were ruined by some big mistakes. I'm not talking about good speeches with small flaws. No, I'm talking about some breach of basic speaking concepts that made a speech colossally bad. Whatever the speaker was trying to say got lost in the wake of some massive problem that overrode it. The speeches we're about to see are not reenactments. These aren't actors doing demos of bad speaking techniques. These are real. Good speeches gone bad. Let's start out with someone you probably know. Kelsey Grammer. He's a famous TV actor who starred in Cheers and Frasier. Evidently now he's out giving speeches, but as you'll see, not too successfully. Watch what happens.
Trip through It's a Small World, pretending I was a UN interpreter. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, that was painful to watch, wasn't it? Even if you have nightmares about public speaking, those nightmares probably don't include serious injury or death. But that's what could have happened there. If you're not familiar with the place you're going to speak, get there early and check it out. If you're going to move around during the speech, which is always a good idea, practice doing it. Know the boundaries. Find out what the lighting will be like. And check out the equipment too. Microphones, projectors, computers, electric cords, outlets. Make sure they're all working properly and you know where they will be during your speech. Don't end up falling on your face like Kelsey Grammer. This next speaker isn't even speaking English, but it doesn't matter because no one will ever remember anything he said.
Korea.
That guy was trying to be a good sport about his disaster, but you can bet he didn't sleep very well that night. Before you speak, get your personal act together. Make sure all your body parts and accessories are fitting and working the way they're supposed to. Look at yourself in the mirror, preferably a full-length mirror, and check for defects. Make sure your clothes fit properly, and my best advice would be to have a dress rehearsal. Practice your speech with the clothes you intend to wear when you actually give it. Actors do that, not only to see how their clothes look, but how they feel. You move differently when you wear clothes you're not used to. Ties, jackets, and shoes all have a big impact on your performance. And speaking of humiliating yourself, here's another politician doing exactly that. Our Vice President, Joe Biden, is notorious for spouting off unchecked. Here's an example.
Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Doesn't that make you want to cringe? He got booed for that remark, and he was speaking in front of a friendly audience. If you must use humor, make absolutely sure that it's appropriate for your audience and the occasion. Try it out ahead of time with people you know and get their reaction. Keep in mind that some people are humorously impaired and prone to manufactured outrage. That's especially true in the political arena. Up next is another politician. He's not a famous one, or at least he wasn't until this speech went viral on the internet.
My name is Phil Davison, and I am seeking our party's nomination for the position of Stark County Treasurer. Albert Einstein issued one of my most favorite quotes in the history of the spoken word, and it is as follows. In the middle of opportunity. If nominated tonight, I promise each and every person in this room, I will hit the ground running, come out swinging, and end up winning.
Whoa, that was kind of scary. That guy's gone off the deep end. It's always good to play to your audience's emotions by showing some sincerity and enthusiasm. But just like humor, make sure that any emotions you display are appropriate for the audience and the situation. You do want the audience to know you believe in your message by showing some emotion, But that guy's over-the-top hysterics surely didn't persuade anyone to vote for him. The only thing he succeeded in doing with that speech was to persuade the audience that he was a genuine nutcase. Finally, here's one of the most famous bad speeches ever given. And it's from a guy who's excelled at everything else he's ever done in his career. Clint Eastwood. Now, I love Clint Eastwood. He's a hero of mine. But when he spoke at the Republican National Convention in 2012, he failed on an epic scale. Let's see if we can count the ways.
So, Mr. President, how do you handle promises that you made when you were running for election, and how do you handle it? I mean, what do you say to people? Do you just I know people were wondering. You don't have it. Okay. I can't tell him to do that. Can't do that to himself.
When you're preparing for the big speech, you go with your best stuff. You rehearse and review. You take it seriously. Clint didn't do any of those things. He's an award-winning actor and director, but he's not known for being an improvisational comedian. That's what he tried to be for that speech. He stuttered and stammered throughout the whole thing. He used inappropriate humor, and he looked like a disheveled old man. When you're going for the big speech, prepare like it's the big speech. You might not ever get another chance. You can bet Clint Eastwood won't. Don't forget, in this case, the target audience was not just the people in the arena, but more importantly, the national TV audience. Clint did not meet his objective, which was to be the cheerleader for the presidential candidate, Mitt Romney. The next day, people weren't talking about Romney. They were talking about Clint Eastwood's bizarre speech. Before we go, let's check back with that crazy politician to see if he's calmed down any.
Let's send a message tonight to the people of Stark County and to the people of the Stark County Democratic Party.
This has been Good Speeches Gone Bad. I'm John Montgomery, and I hope all your speeches are great ones.